Most people are not prepared for what's coming next. Let's talk about it. Are you really prepared, guys, for what's coming next? Do you really have all the items you need? The list is almost endless. Like, I feel like I could just write an endless amount of things of survival items that I need for SHTF. What are the top 30 though? Here's my top 30 that I just wrote down off the top of my head, and I'm just gonna rattle them out for you guys and just give a little, my little 2 cents on every item that I mentioned. All right, so I'm just gonna rattle things off. These aren't in any order, and I'm just gonna talk about them just for a minute. So water purification. So you can get little straw sucker filters that you can like drink from pond water if you're really in a bad survival situation, or you can get big Berkey water filters for your house. Anything in between that. I have the straw ones. I want to get a big Berkey one, but you should at least have the little straw ones. You should have soap, any kind of soap that you can have: shampoo, hand soap, dish soap. All these things are gonna be in short supply if there really is supply chain issues and a breakdown. So you need to have soap to keep yourself clean, to wash wounds, all these different things. Toothpaste, same thing. There's not going to be any dental care, so you really want to keep your teeth clean and brushed as much as possible. So toothpaste is going to be critical. Wipes. So wipes are going to be good for cleaning yourself up. You're not going to be able to shower all the time. There's not going to be hot water to shower with, so even if you could shower, it's probably going to be a cold shower. And if you have a baby too, wipes are good for that. You're going to need to be wiping up their butt and their hands and all that stuff constantly, so wipes are definitely a good one. Self-defense too. If you don't have something to defend yourself with, you definitely need to get it now. Every time there's some kind of panic like this, people go out and buy a bunch of firearms, whatever, and the like. Don't be a part of the panic. Just get stuff now. Just get at least one thing to defend yourself. And what goes along with that is ammunition. So ammo is really going to be short supplied. Russia's a huge producer of a lot of our ammo, and especially a lot of the cheap ammo. So that's going to drive prices up. And I was talking to someone at the Big R, and they were saying, or somebody that works there, they were saying that ammo is very shoddy and it only comes in sometimes, and whenever she sees it, she likes to grab it up. So ammo is definitely something to stock up on now too. Cookbooks. So all these things are not going to be readily available. You're not going to be able to look on your phone and look up a recipe. So definitely get cookbooks. Maybe print out recipes, make your own little cookbook. Whatever you want to do, get cookbooks, get gardening books, different kind of books that'll teach you knowledge, because once the power does go out, all these things aren't going to be accessible. Vitamins. Vitamins are critical, because you're going to be very deficient in all these like micronutrients. You're not going to be eating like a full whole diet. You're going to be eating lots of canned food that's old and low in nutrients, and you're probably going to lose some weight. Like, everyone's going to have to cut back. So vitamins are going to be critical so you don't get sick and your immune system goes down. And if you do get sick, make sure you have vitamins like vitamin C, D, all that to keep your immune system up. Another one is a wheat grinder. So I don't know if you know what that is. It's a thing where you can put wheat berries in and grind it. It's very useful if you need to grow your own wheat or anything like that, or if you want to grind up to make your own flour. So it's a very handy tool. They're probably 30 or 40 bucks. I'm not sure. Ours is pretty old. But yeah, wheat grinder is definitely going to be something that people are going to just be like looking for, that no one thought about during an SHTF scenario. A wood stove. If you could get a wood stove, it's very critical. If you live somewhere where it's cold, there's going to be no propane, there's going to be no natural gas, there's going to be no electricity in a SHTF scenario. So you need a wood stove to keep yourself as warm as possible, and it acts as something that you can cook with too. It's a wood stove. It's also a stove, so you can bake on top of it by putting a dome over it, putting like a big pot over something, so it acts as like an oven too, and you can cook on it as like a skillet top. So wood stoves are going to be critical in a SHTF scenario. Iodine's great for nuclear fallout. It it protects you from a lot of the radiation. It's also a good disinfectant for wounds and stuff like that. Alcohol is great for disinfecting wounds. You can just have like, you know, a high proof alcohol. That'll be good for trading. That'll be good for wounds. And if you like to drink some too, but I don't like to drink, so I would save it for other stuff. Medicinal or medical supplies, medicinal herbs, stuff like that you can grow in your garden, and medical supplies like, you know, bandages, band-aids, cleaning stuff, all these different things you're going to need in an SHTF scenario too if somebody gets hurt. Shoes are super important. So during the Great Depression, it was really hard for people to get shoes. People wore shoes for 10 years and their soles were wearing through the bottom of them. So stock up on an extra pair of shoes, an extra pair of boots if you can. Something that goes along with that is shoe goo. So shoe goo is like the really strong super glue that you can glue to the bottom of your sole to like attach it back. So if the sole flops off the bottom of your boot, you can attach it back and it should stay there a long time. And if you have that, you can use it to make any repairs on your shoes. I've used it a ton before and it works great. So clothes are also critical. You need to have clothes for your kids. If they're going to be growing a lot, you need to be thinking about like in the future too. You need to have some clothes for them in the future. You need to have multiple things if they get it dirty, all this stuff. So clothes are very important. Clothes for you. Cloth diapers are going to be important because diapers are going to run out, but if you have a cloth diaper, you can at least wash it. So that's something to think about if you have babies or small kids. Coats and winter clothes are going to be critical. Stock up, have a couple extra ones. Have enough clothes so you can wear layers, like have a long sleeve shirt so you can layer, and then a flannel, and then a coat, and then a whatever, you know, like so you can have layers, because there's not going to be a lot of heat, so you're going to have to keep your heat in by wearing, you know, lots of layers of winter clothes. If you can do this, an underground storage area for your food is going to be perfect, because during the summer it's going to get hot. So one of the keys to like canned foods and storage crops is you have to keep them cool. You have to keep them under a certain temperature. So I think it's around 70, 75 degrees. So if they're underground and a storage, you know, little cellar, storage cellar, root cellar, then it's going to be way cooler under there, and it's going to be way more insulated during the summer and winter. So that's a great place to store your food and store your preps, is somewhere underground if you can. All right, the next thing is a solar generator. I know this is kind of a big one, but if you can get some kind of solar system going, that's on my list. I don't have one yet. That's perfect. It's not going to last forever, 5 to 10 years, but it'll keep, if you can like use it minimally as possible, you can really stretch the battery life and make everything last even longer than that. Maybe like 15, 20 years if you're really conservative. And that's enough time to really just like give you a lot of comfort and security. Like you can keep your fridge on, you can keep some lights on, you can charge your phone, you can do just like certain things that are going to really just keep you afloat in an SHTF scenario. So even a gas generator is good, but gas is going to run out soon, or it's going to be so expensive, or it's just not going to be available. So it's better off to have solar, where it's something where you have control over it. But you got to put up that initial investment at first. So look into solar generators, even not specifically a solar generator because those are expensive, but some kind of solar system that you can build yourself. There's tons of videos on YouTube how to do it. Salt's going to be critical. So salt's a critical electrolyte for your body. So if you get low on salts, like you're going to have heart problems. Like you could die if you don't get enough salt and sodium in your body. And I know it's something we don't really think about because our diet is so salty and so filled with all this excess sodium. But in an SHTF scenario where you're eating a lot of like homegrown stuff and eating a lot of deficient food that's like canned and old, then you're going to need salt in your system. So I recommend iodized salt. That way you can get iodine and sodium in your system at the same time. And it's going to be good for trading. It's good for cooking. It's good for baking. a lot of recipes need salt just to cook stuff. Speaking of baking, baking soda is going to be critical. You need to learn how to like bake your own breads and cakes and all this stuff, because that's not going to be accessible unless you do it yourself. And you need that wheat grinder and flour grinder, all these different things to really make it yourself. So baking soda, yeast is going to be critical too to make bread rise. Flour for all your different baking things, for breading, for all these things, like you need to have tons of flour. It goes by pretty quick too, but it's cheap, so you can buy a 10-pound bag for I think like $3. So stock up on flour. Oils like olive oil. Olive oil is very stable. It doesn't change its liquidity at different temperatures. It's always liquid, so it's a very stable oil. It's a very ancient oil that we've used for a long time. So stock up on olive oil if you can, as much as you can, because you know, oils are used for cooking, for baking, and they'll have a lot of other uses too in a SHTF scenario. So glue is going to be critical for just you know, there's going to be certain things that break. There's going to be things that are plastic that break, wood, whatever, and you're going to need to glue them back together, and you're not going to be able to do it. Even glue can even be used to like cover wounds, like glue back your you know, splits and stuff like that instead of getting stitches. So super glue especially is very critical. Garden tools are also going to be critical too. So these things are going to be like gold in an SHTF scenario, because nobody's going to be producing them anymore. And if you already have some, or if you can find some, then that's going to just make your garden so much better, so much more productive, and save you so much time and energy, because your energy is going to be valuable. You're not going to be eating big meals and living large and have all this excess energy. You're going to be tired. You're going to be living off low calorie meals. So you want to have as many tools as possible to save your body, you know, time and energy, and just wear and tear on it too. So garden tools are definitely something to stock up on. Just shovels, rakes, scuffle hose, hammers, you know, just any kind of tools, or saws are going to be critical during a SHTF scenario, because they're going to be hard to come by. Fertilizer is another one. So obviously long term, you're not going to be able to just have enough fertilizer to just keep your garden going forever. But if you have enough to just get through a season or two, and you can get other things going like chickens to get your soil fertilized, then that's going to save you a ton of headache just trying to get crops to grow, if you could have something steady for at least the first year or two. All right, and the last thing is seeds. So you need to get seeds for your garden. You need to get stocked up. I've already seen that seeds are super low. It's getting late in the season. Spring's already officially here. So a lot of people are just like thinking about seeds in their garden and all this. So stock up on seeds now while you still can, while they're still available. They're a lot cheaper to just buy in bulk. If you could just spend $10 instead of $3 on seeds, you can get way more if you buy them online. So definitely stock up on seeds too. So let me know what you guys think. Did I mention any items that you didn't have on your list, or you don't have yet? Were there any things that you're like, oh, how did I not think of that? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm super blessed to have you guys, super blessed to have you as a viewer, commenter, as a like, subscriber, all these things. I'm super blessed, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have literally like changed my life in just the past few weeks. It's incredible. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing, and I'm truly blessed in my life, and I hope you guys have the same blessings, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.